Hi, this is Lucas again from People Can Code, and in this episode I'm going to show you a little bit more about Model View Controller and try to explain you in greater detail how everything works, and hopefully we do it in just one go. Okay, so in a couple other videos or two previous videos I showed you how to create a model and how to create a controller in an example view. I also showed you how to create a route. So in this video, and it's going to be probably a little bit longer, we're going to create another model and we're going to create a controller to manipulate the model in a very simple or very fundamental way, which we call REST. So there'll be a couple different actions, very standard actions that we use over and over again. And I'll show you how that works. So let's go ahead and pick the name for the new model. So let's go back here. So just create a sample application, and we are in the command line in Bash. So let me go ahead and pick the model. Let's call it a drink. Let's call it a drink. So Rails generate model drink. And also, when you pick the name for the model, try to pick the names that can be pluralized, because Rails, by the convention, is trying to match different parts of our application, so the controller with the model, by the name of the class. So the controllers would normally have the plural version of the word, and the models would have singular version of the word. So for example, drink, it's a good word because we can pluralize it. We can have drinks controller for the drink model. But if you have news, for instance, it gets a little tricky because it has only one form, and sometimes Rails can get a little bit lost with the words like this. Therefore, when you pick the name, just make sure that in English it has a plural version as well as a singular. So let's generate the drink, and it will have name, and that will be string. It will also have size, and that will be string too. We just have a description. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's generate that. And that created our new model. So if you can see it here, and then we have another model called drink.rb. There's nothing special in a drink model, but we also have this migration file. So this one on the bottom, it will create our entry in the database. So let's go ahead and migrate that. Oh, there is something. Oh, see, we made a little mistake when I was naming the attribute. So instead of typing string, I typed sting. So the way to fix that is just go back to the migration file, and you can see it here. So this one is okay, but here is a typo, and it's, all you need to do is just fix the typo, and that's fine. So if you go back and migrate the database, now it's gonna work. So before you migrate the database, you can make all sorts of changes here. So that's fine. You can even add another field, and then after you migrate, then you wouldn't change the file. So just let's go back here and let's go ahead and create a controller for drinks. So Rails generate a controller, and we call it drinks. Okay, enter. Controller. Okay. So now it create a whole bunch of files, and including the controller file. So here we have a drinks controller, okay, and drinks controller right now doesn't really have any actions. So let's go ahead and create a standard set of actions. So the first typical action is index, and we will use this action to display all, like, index or list of drinks. Then we have show, and the convention says show is used to display a record of individual instance. So we will have, when we have a list of drinks, show action would show only this one drink profile. Maybe there is just more details or like a picture and stuff. Next one will be new, and new will actually, so new will display the form for new record. Okay, and then we have create, which will actually save that new record. So new will display the form to the user on the website, and when we click submit, that will go to the create action, and create action will attempt to save new record. Then if we want to edit those existing records, we will have edit action, which will again display a form for the existing. Okay, and to save that form, we will use an update action. So def, okay, and once we have all those actions, we probably in some situations want to delete our record, and for that we'll have action called to destroy. Okay, so we defined all those actions, and right now they don't really do anything. They are just here. To make those actions available to our user, so when the user types a certain URL, it can map to any of those actions, we need to go to the router and define those routes. So in the config folder, there is a routes.rb file. And we can come here and we define our resources, drinks. Okay, and coincidentally, the resources will create exactly the number of routes. Actually, one extra, but it's a little different story. So we're gonna have the routes exactly for this set of actions, okay? Because they're standard. So it's called REST, basically. So we have index, show, new, create, edit, update, and destroy actions, and they are standard 7 actions for very standard features, okay? Most of the applications share those features, or most of the standard manipulations. Okay, so we define those resources. So now those URLs will map to those actions in the controllers. What we're still missing are the views, so the templates. And what we will do is we're gonna create views for certain actions, and some other actions will not have their own views. They're gonna redirect, they're gonna do something and redirect to somewhere else. So for example, index will have template. Okay, we're gonna create HTML file for that. The show will also have a template. New will also have template. It will display the form, so it will contain the form. Create will not have template. Will actually, I'll just let me put that note. It's will save and redirect. Edit will have its own template, and both update and destroy will not have their own template. They're gonna do some logic and redirect us somewhere else. Okay, So let's go ahead and really quickly create those templates. In app views, there is a new folder, drinks, and it's empty, as you can see. So we can create new file. Let's call this file index. So it maps the first action that we created. So html.erb. Okay, let's create another action. Where are we? In views, drinks, new file, and let's call this one show.html.erb. And another one, you can see already two files are here. Let's call this one edit. Edit html.erb. And one more. Let's call this one new.html.erb. Great. So a little bit more how the MVC model would work. So we have the model, and we can already create and destroy all those drinks. But let's create some user interface so we can do it through the actual application. So let's start with perhaps a new page. Okay, so we are on the new page right here, and what we want to do is display the form to create a new drink. So we do it with some Ruby code. Okay, and we have the very special tool to create forms. So we call it by typing form4, and then we pass the object. Okay, I'll put this placeholder text right here. Okay, and we use the variable that we used to build the form. Okay. Right here. Okay, so the form will be, this is called form builder, and this form will create a form for us to manipulate this object right here. But this object has to come from somewhere, you know, and we would use our drinks controller to define what this object is and send it to the view. And the way to do it is we go back to our controller and we look for the new action. In the new action, we're going to define our object. So we use the @ symbol to create this special variable that can travel between the view and the controller. And let's call it a drink. So let's call it drink. And drink, this variable going to contain new instance of the class drink. So we call the class drink dot new. That's it. So the drink really doesn't have any attributes of its own, although we can give it a name or the size. In here, we just create a completely empty object and save it to that variable. And this variable we're going to send to our form in the matching template that has the same name in the drinks folder. So let's save that and go back to our new file and replace this ugly placeholder text with the name of our variable, @drink. And Rails is smart enough to know that because this drink is new, that form is for the new record. So there will be slightly different HTML generated from here than it would be for example, existing drink. So let's create a text field where we can actually type the name of our drink. So again, we use the Ruby code. Let me